Hey everybody, this is Harrison with LV1 Gaming, reviewing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. If you saw my previous early impressions or review video, this will be my full review. Sometimes a game comes out that I see all the reviews and gossip around it and I go, why? Am I crazy for liking this game and for not wanting me to just hate on it for no reason? Or is this game just divisive? For Suicide Squad, I think the answer is a bit of both. I'm sure everyone and their four mothers have heard all the hubbub around this game, but just for starters, I really enjoyed and I continue to enjoy my time with this game. The gameplay and traversal are a lot of fun, the writing and the story are excellent, and it's very unintrusive with the live service mechanics. Suicide Squad sees you as Task Force X trying to kill the Justice League as Brainiac has taken control over them. Your crew is obviously woefully ill-equipped to handle such a task, but hey, it wouldn't be fun if you didn't try, and oh boy do you try. Each squad member comes with their own skill tree, outfits, traversal mechanics, abilities, and weapons they can use, and they all are pretty fun to play as. Deadshot uses a jetpack to fly around, and he excels at getting critical hits. He can use sniper rifles, pistols, and assault rifles. Harley uses Batman's old grappling hook to get around, and she flings around the city honestly just kind of like Spider-Man. She specializes in miniguns, SMGs, and pistols. King Shark is more of your heavy, and since he is a god, he can fling himself onto buildings and through the air, and he uses miniguns and assault rifles. Finally, there's Captain Boomerang, who steals some of Flash's equipment so he can use the Speed Force with his boomerang. Boomer is more of a hit-and-run character by being able to throw around the boomerang and teleport to wherever the boomerang is at that point. All these characters bring unique playstyles to the game, which force you to change up your own playstyle when playing as them. Most of the guns here are fun to use as well, with only some of the laser weapons sounding a tad too weak and lacking an impact for my taste, but landing headshots with a rifle or a revolver was always satisfying. As you move through the campaign, the game continues to introduce new mechanics until about, let's say 50 or 60% through the story. This does a great job of keeping things feeling fresh and from not becoming stale. And most of the time I started finding a specific enemy too easy, the game would introduce another enemy to mix up the gameplay that required different tactics to take on. In a nod to the Arkham series, Suicide Squad has some fighting game elements, such as a combo meter and counters. Combos are used in combination with skills to give effects such as hitting 30 combo increases your jetpack cooldown by 20%, while increasing critical hit damage by 25%. This game is constantly encouraging you to not sit still, and mastering the traversal system is extremely rewarding and is vital to being successful in combat. Counters, on the other hand, work similarly to other fighting games. You see a yellow flash above an enemy's head, and you press left trigger and RB to stop their attack, daze them, and open them up for a counterattack. This attack is most often used against snipers who are constantly annoying you from the rooftops. And to motivate you further to keep your combo up and keep moving, the game has another similar mechanic to Doom 2016's Glory Kills. Getting an enemy to a weakened state and then performing a shield harvest / glory kill is mostly the only way to restore your shields in the game. This mechanic combined with the combos, counters, and varied enemies go a long way in making the flow of combat feel constantly enjoyable. And if you want to play alone, the game has you covered. Playing alone, the squad is filled out with bots, and I found the bots to generally be very helpful, with them regularly using their abilities and special equipment at the perfect moment. On the topic of bots, this game bizarrely has the pawn system from Dragon's Dogma. Yeah, for real. Your friends, when they log in, if they're playing by themselves, can add your Deadshot bot to their game. So your bot brings your equipment, loadout abilities, and all that into your friend's game. And on top of that, while your bot is in their game, they earn gear and money, which is pretty awesome. So speaking of these characters, they are all amazingly well written and acted. The same goes for everyone in this game, honestly. The writing completely nails the squad and all their characters they interact with. The production here is top notch as well, with honestly some incredibly amazing facial animations on display. The story here is a massive strength of this game, with extremely entertaining and well acted cutscenes. But these cutscenes sometimes can be a double-edged sword, as they sometimes hamper the gameplay. As some missions will literally be, go to area, kill 5 dudes, watch 10-minute cutscene. Next mission is watch another 5-minute cutscene, go to area, kill 3 dudes, watch another cutscene. You know, some of these missions will be bombastic story moments like the boss fights, but a lot of the other missions tend to be really repetitive and honestly last really a short amount of time. But the boss fights here are really the standout. They're a ton of fun, they're super creative, and make a great use of the DC characters. Specifically the Flash fight, that was my personal highlight of boss fights for how enjoyable it was. But like I said, some of these missions tend to be extremely short and repetitive, and I would say that honestly 70% of missions in this game could take you less than 7 minutes on average to beat. Sure, there are a lot of missions and it took me almost 20 hours to beat the game, but launching a mission and then have it end 5 minutes later just honestly kind of started to drag by the end of the campaign. It's extremely nice to be back in the Arkhamverse and see some familiar faces. Harley, for example, has really come into her own over the past years, and she's honestly just a joy to listen to and watch. And seeing Batman again is also awesome, but then terrifying as you see how deadly he can be, well, if he used, well, deadly force. Seeing him use all the old tricks that you used against enemies in the Arkham games is a really fun twist and adds a really different dynamic to the game. The story overall really nails and takes full advantage of the DC universe. The only downside here is that since we went from Arkham Knight straight into this game, we've missed out on so much lore and stories that could have been told, such as apparently Harley is a massive Wonder Woman fan, Deadshot has a massive beef with Green Lantern, and Boomerang really hates Flash. Sure, I know that all these match their personas from the comics, and these are kind of, standard for how comic books run for DC, but sometimes it felt like I was watching the final movie in a trilogy without seeing the first two. But overall, as somebody who still reads at least 2 comic books a week, I really enjoyed the story here, and Rocksteady deserves to be commended for how lovingly the DC universe is used here. So finally, let's touch on the live service element of this game, the aspect that's been probably most lauded compared to everything else. And hey, this is just my opinion, but I really think this game so far sets a pretty good standard for how I'd want future live service title games, like all of them, to be. In this game, every new season comes with a free mission, new map area, new gear, and a new playable character. All of this is for free. There's also a battle pass that will have free and paid tracks, but the passes never expire. Even if you don't pay for them, you can go back and play them at any time. And in the game, the most live service element about it is the daily challenges and if you want to continue grinding missions for gear, but honestly those can be really easily ignored and you can play the game single player with bots, which is great. That being said, the microtransactions are, as usual, outrageously overpriced. It's $10 or more for an outfit, and the outfits aren't even that amazing in my opinion. Along with that, the deluxe edition, which was $100, was supposed to come with the squad's original outfits. And sure, it does, but only a single one for each character and not the whole set. So if you want a different color, swatch for that classic Harley outfit or a different headpiece that goes with it, sorry, that'll be another $30, $40 to get that entire collection, which is kind of scummy considering you sold the deluxe edition, saying it would include all of that. And server-wise though, I have had a few issues. Yes, the servers were completely down for launch day for 12 hours, but the devs gave everybody $20 worth of microtransactions as an apology, which is not something I've seen devs do before. I know devs have given people, some type of commendation for the servers being down, but never that much money in microtransactions, so I think they deserve to be somewhat commended for that. That being said, since launch, servers have still been kinda iffy for me. I will say that playing by yourself, single player experience, I don't have a single problem. If you want to play by yourself, you will not encounter a single problem once you get in the game. The problem I found is that since launch day, it can sometimes take me up to 15 minutes to try to log into a game and join, and there have been entire days that I have still been unable to log in and join the game, and that's even if you're trying to play single player. And then there's more problems that occur if you're trying to play multiplayer. For example, I keep having this really annoying bug when playing co-op with another player, where on my end, I might see all 4 members of the Suicide Squad with me, but on their end, they'll see like 3 dead shots and a King Shark. And on their end, they'll hear, constant chatter from those dead shots. And on my end, I hear everything normally. And honestly, that bug has been happening almost every single time I start up the game. And the only workaround I've found for it is that just exiting back out to the main menu and just keep trying to have everybody join your game and hope it fixes itself. But with that being said, I still think that it's a tad too early to fully judge the quote live service mechanics of this title because it just launched. But that being said, if they can fix the servers and they stick to their plans with the free content per season, I have really high hopes for this game. And overall, I just had a blast playing Suicide Squad. I enjoyed my time both playing solo and co-op. The gameplay and the story are top notch. They kept me engaged during my 40 hours with the title. And besides some gripes with gameplay and story aside, I really think this game has a very solid foundation, and I really hope that becomes a fantastic live service title that I'm still playing for years to come. So if I had to rate this game, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. The pros being it has engaging combat, the traversal mechanics are a ton of fun. If you played Sunset Overdrive and really love the way that game played and handled with the traversal mechanics, I think you're really going to dig this title. Besides that, I think it's got a fantastic story and it has an amazing use of the DC license and these characters. And also on that note, just the characters are really unique and their abilities are great, which changes up each play style. With the drawbacks here really for me are just the repetitive and short missions and the server issues I mentioned. You know, of all the hubbub that's been made out this game, I really think this title is a ton of fun and you should check it out. Alright, well thanks for watching. My name is Harrison, aka Purgle1 with Level 1 Gaming. Thanks for joining and we'll see you next time.